Hello everyone, Corrie here. Coming in today to do the energy update for this coming weekend that we are now falling into. This is Friday, October the 4th. Oh, we have some big energy. So I'm like, it feels like a meltdown, like this energy of nuclear energy meltdown. And I don't know what that all means yet, but it is there. Now, there is a lot of illusion kind of energy that's floating around. And it's coming in the fact of masks are coming off. So bring it into us, we always bring it from macro to micro. And so bringing it back into us, it may be one of those weekends where you really start being honest with yourself. You really start looking at the things that you've neglected, that you've let go, that you didn't do, that you really wanted to do, the things that kind of get in our way sometimes, that stand in our way. Often we find ourselves being in our own illusions. We can tell ourselves a lot of stories, but it doesn't mean it is truth. Remember that there's always this, and I'm on my couch a fair bit lately because it is the most comfortable spot for me to sit. But it's so easy to convince ourselves of something. It's so easy for us to tell ourselves a story that then we don't have to fix. We don't have to do the work to repair something. We don't have to be honest. We can just accept, right? There's an acceptance that is now crumbling. And it feels like, I just can't accept that no more. And it could be something so simple as in your diet. It could be as simple as some behavior that you've been accepting. It could be the fact of somebody else manipulating your energy or manipulating you. It could be someone who you've been trying to help, but they're not doing anything to help themselves. That's a big one. Excuse me. Why is it every time I come in lately, I get like the hiccups whenever I start to speak? I get the hiccups. I don't know what's causing that. But that is coming up in this energy for this coming weekend. So the areas to really notice it, the areas to really notice where this energy is, how this energy is influencing us, is really look at sometimes how it's very hard to sometimes take advice. There's a difference in opinions and advice. There's constructive criticism, and then there's criticism, right? And so sometimes advice is blended in with constructive criticism of things that someone may previously know that could help. And it's where you get to see how one-sided your your critic is, or not your inner critic, sorry, of you accepting criticism really is, that, or constructive criticism. Let's get it right. Constructive criticism, of accepting constructive criticism, of you taking advice from somebody else, or you may have someone in your life who just, no matter how much you talk to them, they're not listening. They say, yeah, I got it, but yet they do the same things over and over. Or where you just start noticing that you're just done talking. You're done talking. You're done talking to people. You're done telling people what, you're done trying to help somebody. I just feel like there's a phase of time now where it's done. It's like a sense of being able to have to stand on your own 2 feet, to be independent, to be honest, and radical honesty is drastically needed in a world that is filled with half-hearted truths and all-out lies. And there's a networking world that exists outside of our world right here on Earth. So we have our little world we exist in, and then you have an outer world, and then you have another world out here in the universe, where as this world in here that networks around us is often filled with criticism, manipulation, judgment. There's a lot that's happening out there, and it really holds a lot of the energy that comes with the dark forces, the darker energy. It's the shady, shadowy aspect, and we're really seeing that on a world scale. We're seeing that involved in everything that is happening. There is a real shady shadow of the sinister characters that are playing out in that. And it's not just a person. It's a energy. It is something within people that birds of a feather flock together, right? And so we see that energy in a lot of places, but it's the everyday people that really always matter. And I'm back to that conversation. I've been talking about that for years, is the everyday people. So our everyday world, our everyday existence, that's what matters the most to our survival, to our being able to stay healthy in our minds and our body. And sometimes you got to turn off everything because you can't change it. Your worry, you're yelling at the TV, you screaming, you watching hours and hours and hours of something that you cannot change is, you know, is one way to really begin to release some of this energy that has a hold on us. And it's one thing to know that that there is all of these truths, and there's multiple amounts of truths, and that everything holds some level of truth. But then we have the universe out here, right? And so if we bring in the universal energy, we bring in the cosmos, we bring in all of that, and it brings in a whole level of truth, honesty, integrity, and love. And it's here to help us live from that place within ourselves. If we become that, if we live that, if we exist in that in our own world becomes a much more beautiful place for us to live. And our world is the world that you create. Your people, your place, your communities, whatever it is, you know, it's like really, truly recognizing that in ourselves. And so there's a cleaning up of energy that is here. So it's coming in to kind of clear the air, clean the energy. But there definitely is there's some depth, put it that way. That's a good word. There is some depth to this energy, and it is like a deep dive in. And we just came through the new moon and the solar eclipse energy. We're feeling the effects. We're not out of eclipse season, so we're still feeling the effects of eclipse season. We're seeing kind of like the infestation of like rodents and cockroaches. That's a good one. Rodents and cockroaches coming out from everywhere with human faces and or bot faces, right? Like it's just like there's this sense that there is just like this sinister energy that just says, if you could do anything this weekend, spend it in your own personal little world. Do the things that clean up your life, that keep things clean, that sometimes it includes a conversation that may need to be had, whatever that may be, but what is real to you? What matters to you? What is important to you? What brings you joy? What brings you that sense of satisfaction? And do those things. Do those things this weekend. Make that the mission that you work on. Oh, I feel like I need to take a deep breath. So there is a big release coming, and I think that's kind of going to be hitting. I feel like that's going to be hitting. I feel like the camera's like right in front of me. I'm like, I don't like that view. And so a big release. There's a big release this weekend. Whew, what is that big release? Coming up for fresh breath of air. There's a breath of air. I just see a break. There's something breaking this weekend. I just feel like it's on maybe Saturday, could be Sunday. Something is breaking. Man, it's going to bring a shift. There's something coming through, and I can't, and I want to say it feels very divine. I see a lot of light. I see a lot of white light with it. So we could in the resonant sound, there could be in the resonant sound, there could be, what this feels like is in the resonant sound, it feels like there's a lot of light hitting the earth. But on the other side of that, I also got something, my head is pounding. I feel the pressure of it. And what they're giving me is, this feels like some sort of after effects or some sort of, this feels weather-wise. So it could be like an earthquake, a mudslide, something like that. Something just feels, oh, something is coming in. And with it comes in the divine as well. So I have something coming in that brings in the divine as well. I don't know what that is. They're not fully giving it to me. I don't really see it. All I know is that there's this conversation that we first had was in a lower, it was in a high frequency, but it was a lower octave than this, what I'm receiving here. This has a high octave to it. It has a high sense of sensitivity to it. It makes me feel very sensitive. I feel very connected to this somehow, but not connected to it. It feels like a battle of energy coming in, and there's some sort of battle unfolding, but all I see is a big, bright light. So whether this is something of man-made, or whether this is something of the divine, but there's something coming in and it's dropping down. I see it dropping down, and earth breaking. Something is breaking open. It could be something tied to the war. It could be something coming up, but it doesn't have a... It doesn't have a... I don't have an outcome of it. I don't see the outcome. All I see is the light, the interference. Sorry, that yawn's a release of energy. There's a lot of microphones. There's a lot of people around there. There's something coming up, and I feel like it's in this weekend's energy, whether or not it happens on the weekend. But I see a lot of reporters standing around, a lot of people standing around with microphones, and everybody's looking kind of in shock. So I don't know if something is dropping in, a bomb dropping, something is dropping. So it could be news, it could be a shock to our systems, it could be a big awareness of something, but it has it has deliberation behind it. There's something that has a deliberation behind it. It's very deliberate. It feels very deliberate. And so whatever that is, I don't know, but it's like interfering. It's an interference in the rest of the message that I've been receiving. It really wants me to bring this forward. So I'm going to bring this forward the way that I got it, because I don't have the whole picture of it, but they really wanted me to see this. They really want me to bring this forth. And then it's also the presence. I see the presence of Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael is with us. Cleaning things up, coming to clean things up. There has to be a cleaning and a clearing. There is big revelations, big reveals that are coming up that really show us and tell us how much our world is built on lies, deception, and deceit. And there is this big energy, and it's outside of us, right? So it's bigger than us. So if we were to bring that into ourselves and bring that into our own little world, how do we clean up our lives? What do we need to clean up? What do we need to get done? What work do we need to do? What needs to be done? But there's just like, all these little, and what matters and what doesn't matter. What matters and what doesn't matter. What's the most important to you right now? What brings you the most value in your life? And so if you are in a relationship, and you feel as if that relationship is like you're nitpicking everything apart, you need to look at why you're nitpicking everything apart, and why you're picking everything apart, and why you're not seeing the value of the macro, of what is big, of why that relationship is important. So it's more to do with you than it is to do with the other person. If you're nitpicking and picking them apart, you have to look at you and stop looking at them, because you're trying to find faults in somebody else, and that never serves us well. That's on the micro. They keep taking me somewhere. I'm going somewhere. You're seeing actual live channeling right as it's happening, right as the visions begin and they come. Oh, I'm seeing a big field. This could be something like, I want to say it could be something coming from the sky. Something's dropping from the sky onto Earth. I don't know if it's, they would see an asteroid coming. It feels like it could be a plane. It could be a plane. It could be a plane that goes, possible plane. I see metal. It could be ship, could be spaceship. I don't know. There's something coming down. There's something really deep and big coming down. They're giving me some descriptions. I see it as if I'm standing like a journalist around, and we're talking about the case. We're talking about the case. We're talking about the experience after it has happened, and the impact that will have, and the impact that it's going to have. And I feel like it's kind of a ripple effect of something more that is taking place. And so I am getting that sense of, I see light, I see light, and I see fire, and I see water. And so this could be near water. It could be somewhere that's tied to the water, but it it rumbles. There's a rumble to this as well. So something big is happening. Something big is in this energy. And it's just like coming into my wheelhouse of awareness. Like they're giving me bits and pieces of all of this, and it's interrupting me trying to give. And what I keep hearing is, this is so small compared to how big this is. So all of these things that we're talking about and all these things in our everyday life, this big thing is going to really distract us and make us aware of what is most important. I don't know how that falls into our personal lives, but that's what they're giving me. That it's something that has a impact, and something that can be seen far and wide. It will be hard not to ignore it. But, you know, can I change it? No. Can you change it? No. It is what it kind of is what it is. We pray for divine interventions if it's something negative, but I also feel the presence of something beautiful coming in and building from there, and being able to build new life coming in. Yeah. And so it's all around, right? It's just all around. So, you know, if you're with people this weekend and you just feel that need to kind of be the critic and to kind of be the fire starter of arguments, sit back, pull back, don't engage in those arguments. Don't ruin any good moments that are possible to have. If it's a possibility for us to have a good weekend, enjoy it, make the best of it. Do the things that can raise the light, that can raise the vibration, that can raise the earth's frequencies. I just feel like there's just something that just feels like we need to start doing us. We need to start living our personal lives in the light, to be good to each other, to do good things for each other. That's what it feels like to me, to really increase that, to amplify that, to bring that in. But like I said, there's something big, some big breaking news that is coming up that I'm seeing, that I'm getting some vision on, but it just is, it's in the light. I just keep seeing the light, and it's something that's about to come down or break open, but we will see journalists around it. And so I do feel it's very powerful. It's very strong. I also, like I said, I feel our everyday, you know, it feels so minute, but our lives matter. Our personal lives matter. The way we live our lives, the way we think, the way we live, it all matters. And it's all so important to the life we choose to live and how we decide to show up. And sometimes we have to really, truly listen to another person. So if you got the opportunity to listen to another side, to listen to another view, another perspective, if someone's being, you know, constructive, giving you some constructive criticism, it's a time to really, truly listen to what they have to say. They may have some good information, some good news for you that could really make a difference in your life, or in your world. So it is on the heels. I feel like we're on the heels, being on the heels of that eclipse, that as we move into the week, it also is a good opportunity to start to move forward. It has a lot of lucky days in this weather, a lot in this weekend and the next few days, a lot of really good energy that to also work with. When there's a powerful influence that has a possibility of being negative, it also has a possibility to be positive. So we have both coming in here, and I'm feeling both, I'm connecting to both. And so there is this sense of, it's a really good weekend to start really making that plan. Next week brings forth a movement forward. There's a movement. I feel like there's a movement in the energy that is kind of shifting gear. And, you know, so it's time to really start shifting gear to what's important. What do I value the most? What do I need to do? And paying attention to that. If you're my fire signs, I feel like for my fire signs, really, truly look at any self-judgment that you're doing. It's very big. I feel like during this time, I feel like I'm seeing during this time that, you know, it's that inner critic, that self-judgment is so big and so large. But it's because you're on your way somewhere. You're on your way somewhere. You're on your way through something. Some of you got to step into, be of service in specific areas. Other people, it's just about finally getting to live your most beautiful life, whatever that may be. But let your light shine. Don't hide your light. Let your light up and let your light out. Everyone else is being influenced and affected, but for some reason I get the fire signs, and something happening for some of my fire sign people where you're like, holy shit, I couldn't believe that could happen. So really expect the unexpected. This may be a very good time of something very big and powerful that may come into your life, because when we see something powerful that can influence us, there's also something powerful that can be very healthily in a healthy way, in a healthy way and in a positive way, it can be a big influence in our lives. It can bring about big changes. And so the angels are everywhere. I feel like there's a flock of hundreds of angels. They're streaming in. And I feel the stream energy of angels coming in. And the angels are all around us. So if you work with angels, work with your angels. If you work with virtues, just work with your virtues, whatever it is for you. And just trust that there is the presence of the divine stronger than ever before that is here guiding us. And it's a big influence. And yeah, that's what I got for you. I don't know what else to say. Have a good weekend. Have a good weekend. I send you so much love. And if you like these videos, this was a real out there video because you're actually seeing me channel. They're taking me away and are still trying to take me away. Yeah, have yourself a beautiful weekend. Have a good weekend. And I hope that you get to really, truly this weekend be able to feel the light, the angelic light, the beautiful love and light that is coming in. And that you can feel it and it inspires you and it gets you moving and it gets you doing all the right things, all the good things that are for the benefit of your beautiful, healthy life. Much love. Bye-bye.